All right. Good morning. Welcome. So nice to have you here with me. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing super great. It's Friday. Happy Friday. We made it through the week. And I don't know about you. I'm super excited about it. I hope it was a great week for you. And I hope it's going to be a great weekend. We'll dive in here today, a little fasting space, center ourselves for Friday, take a beautiful step forward in health on this Friday, and set ourselves up for a great weekend. How did you do this week? How was the week? Were you stepping forward in health? Were there struggles you had? This is the balance. We see the good, we see the difficult, we move through it. And we see the good. That's what we want to do. We want to see the good, focus on the good. What we focus on in general increases. I think that's true. In as much as we can control it. My big gratitude of the week, I had, intermittently I had this over the previous months, really trying to do the lives, and I would have this internet trouble, and it was so frustrating, and I finally got somebody out to the house. They replaced the whole line out to the street, and they said, oh yeah, that thing was shot. I think all the time I spent, with these customer service online, they're like, no, it's fine. No, everything's fine. I'm like, well, you've got to advocate for yourself. Finally, I was like, just get somebody out here. I know I pay them, for goodness sake. And the guy got out here. He was like, oh, this is terrible. Like that was my experience. Well, looking over the week, some good topics. I think we've covered automatic decision making, started dialing in on that book. We'll do some more of that, Thinking Fast and Slow. I loved that, just really teasing apart how is the mind working, trying to get ourselves into a great frame of mind, understand why do we make the decisions we make, and how can we better gain agency over it. And then we dive in on building mental capital. Loved that. Something we definitely want to focus on. Realizing we have only so much, right? Only so much capacity. And we want to utilize that in the best way that we possibly can. We want to get into that state of flow. I loved where that went. Get into a flow state. The easiest place to get through a space. But then autopilot, right, can also take us some places we don't want to go. So we want to be mindful. To the extent that we can flow through a space, we definitely want to be doing that. To the extent that we're flowing in the wrong direction, that's where we want to practice that mindfulness, use that capital we've built up to help train and practice the methods that really are going to bring us in the direction that we want. Went into this little brain hack on Wednesday, how we have so much influence from the associations, the environment, the context that shape our thinking and decision making. And can we use that process to our advantage to actually prime and practice the mental states that are going to keep us on track and positive? Get in the mirror, have a big smile, tell ourselves, you are strong and resilient. And you got this. I've been trying to do that this week, and I've enjoyed it. It's been fun, if nothing else. The pancake was wonderful, and then got right back on track. Hey, that's the way to do. That's the balance, right? We need to have an enjoyable relationship with food. You have something positive. You don't guilt trip yourself about it. And you move forward in positivity. And however it shakes out, you just learn from the experience. We learn and grow from every experience. And that is absolutely the way to go from it. Just learn we're having a human experience here. And what an interesting experience it is. I did the little talk yesterday, Hidden History of Obesity. I really enjoyed diving in on some of this, deep research, on where have we come from, and just trying to understand, the situation on a deeper level. I think there's obviously a tendency in society to just kind of take a superficial look at things, and I enjoyed that. It's very interesting. Someone came through and put a comment on there like, what was Ben Franklin's life really like? Like, what was the world like? What did sedentary mean then compared to now? They were saying, as in no cars. Like, it's a different world, and we get into the past and we just think, most people's experience so different than ours. We're in a very, very interesting time, and I think this is why we can have grace with ourselves and just realize we are just awash in novelty that is not necessarily tuned to our traditional human experience. And today, our fifth step for the week, finding clues to the puzzle. So, different ways to think, of our days, how we organize our time. What is our experience here? Philosophers been theorizing, on mankind's search for meaning for millennia, like, the big questions. Why are we here, and what are we doing, and what is the purpose? And of course, 100 different religious, spiritual, philosophical systems try to answer that. And I won't be able to deliver the answer to that to you today. But, one way that people think about it is like, are we here to learn? Are we here to grow, develop? What is it? So if we look at it from maybe that perspective today, say like each day we have some sort of opportunity here in this gift that we've been given to be here. Like, what is the purpose in that day? It's like, well, purpose and meaning can be what we make of it. And, we're here in a health space. We're trying to move toward a health goal. And that's not always an easy thing to do, right? There are obstacles to it. And we were talking this week about, what do you do? Someone is, I'm dialed in, but like people, in my own household, making it difficult, bringing in things to the house that can be a source of conflict and disagreement. People not on the same page. If we've talked about this analogy, we're on a sailboat, we're trying to pick our course, we're going this way, we're trying to move that way, but like sometimes there's two people in the same sailboat and they're fighting over the rudder exactly. That can be a difficult space. Got to take a lot of grace and patience and love and kindness to navigate that. And certainly, I always tell people like relationships more important than probably is like the top thing, So we have to like keep our relationships in a good place, and then below that though is like, how do we navigate that? Maybe we get some clues for that today. Yeah, clues to all these things. So you can think of that, like how you do that is like a puzzle. And like each day we got a puzzle to solve. How are we going to get through this day, moving toward our health goal, despite all these obstacles? I've talked on the channel about a book I read last summer, the obstacle is the way, about like, don't try to get around obstacles, like step over them. Use the obstacle to spring you forward, step up to the next level. I tell everybody, go read that book, Ryan Holiday, Obstacle is the Way. I really do love that framework, you know. Also is like, if you can walk around an obstacle and like navigate around it, like, you know, these are just mental constructs to think about. So what are the moves that we can make in our day, whether we think of using an obstacle to springboard to another level, or we think about taking actions to navigate through a maze, or kind of the analogy I'm using today, solve a puzzle, okay? You say like, hey, I've been trying to solve this puzzle for years. I haven't quite cracked it yet. It's a tricky one. We need clues, right? We need help to do it. It's like the basic playbook, like the rules of the game, right? We can say are pretty straightforward. We can say them like again and again, right? And I've said it here lots, but I think it's the best thing to repeat, right? To review. That's like the priming we were talking about the other day. We build these associations, almost kind of like a mantra. We keep telling ourselves, hey, the things that are important, the things that we speak and do, our habits and patterns shape the way we think. And when we repeat things like that, like, hey, say, priorities that I have, putting the healthiest food into my body, keeping processed food out. We just want to keep telling ourselves, hey, this is what we do. Moving the body in healthy ways that can be very gentle ways. Some stretching and take a walk. And of course, you can amp it up into more intense ways. And that's all good. Always focusing on our mental health first. And then opening up some fasting space. That's a big dial. It can be just a little bit. And you can train yourself to tolerate more of that. This is like the ground rules of the game as far as moving forward in a healthy way. But then, like, the trick is to actually do it, right? That trick is like, okay, how do we take these concepts and implement them actually in the messiness and complexity of my life and relationships and demands and all the history that we have of that. That's the real trick. So we've got like ground rules, but then like there's no day-by-day playbook exactly. Like we have to make it. That's why I really like that analogy that I have been focusing on while reading this book. Thought I'd do another excerpt of that today. The creative act, a way of being, because when we think of ourselves as an artist, as a creator of our experience, like I think it's true. I mean, is it an analogy or is it just an assessment? Like it's just an observation. We create our experience through the choices and decisions that we make. And, you know, if a statue, for example, that just sits there can be an artwork, how much more like a thing that's alive and can sing and dance, you know? It's like definitely art. It's definitely art to creatively approach a change. And so it's just, I think, a fun and thoughtful way to think about it. So when we think about that, we've got ground rules of a game. It's like this is a puzzle game. We're trying to sort out how to get through the day. Okay, but that's like a blank canvas. It's like nobody telling us what to do, you know? We are steering the ship. We got our hand basically on the rudder. Unless there's two hands on the rudder and we're having to solve the puzzle where we navigate with our co-pilot on how to do it. This chapter from A Way of Being, called Look for Clues, okay? We are all in unique situations. We're playing maybe the same game in some regards. We're trying to move forward in health with a basic framework, but then we got to solve the puzzle of our day. And wouldn't it be great if there were clues? And so this is from an artistic perspective. This is speaking to artists, remember, about like how are you going to solve this problem? Like meaning like how are you going to paint the thing that's like come to your mind or whatever you're making? Okay, we're trying to create our artwork, which is our life, which is also solving this puzzle. Because to get from where we are today, both to the end of the day and also to the end of the year. 69 steps left. Man, the countdown is on. We started at 82 when we started doing the weekly, and then now down to 69, and we're going to keep stepping toward it. Are you planning for the holidays? Do you know what you're going to have? Are you enjoying it already? Are you thinking about how much enjoyment you're going to have? Is that bringing you joy already and helping you power on in your days now? Because you're like, man, I am towing the line and I'm driving myself in such a great direction, and I'm going to be enjoying that holiday, and this is what it's going to be, and you can think about it. Material for our work surrounds us at every turn. And so already, I love that. Okay, what he's saying, okay, we're creating from this environment that we're in. And so this is the big thing that I want to say with this clues, right? We are here for whatever reason, however we got here, and we have this day. This day is our little puzzle, and what I want you to start thinking about, the answers to this puzzle are here with us, like right now. They're around us in our environment, and we can take from that. This is the artistic process. Take from this environment, learn from it, transform it. This is where the clues are going to come from. It's woven into our conversation, to nature, to chance encounters, and existing works of art. When looking for a solution to a creative problem, pay close attention to what is happening around you. Look for clues pointing to new methods or ways to further develop current ideas. So this is our creative problem, right? Stepping through the day. Pat says, the art of fasting. Yeah, that is fantastic. I love that. Art of fasting. It is an art, right? Because we say fasting is a practice. Fasting isn't just one thing. It's a practice. It's a creative expression of health. I love that. It's going to look different, just like art looks different. Nobody can create the same piece of artwork. Art is our ideas and concepts that are transmuted out into the world through unique people. So any artistic expression is unique. Just like we try to take these ground rules of this game, the fasting, the movement, the eating, all these things, they're all expressions. It's like cooking is an expression. Like cooking kind of gets you there, where you say, well, cooking can definitely be artwork, right? You watch some cooking show, you go to a fancy restaurant, people definitely expressing artistic ideas through food. Food and fasting, two sides of the same coin, right? We eat and we have spaces without food. And how fascinating to think, just like a yin and a yang, right? The darkness and the light, the eating and the fasting, everything come into balance. Both of these together are an artistic expression. Just like music, right? Music, if it was just a solid note, wouldn't be music. The spaces is what gives the context and make the art beautiful. So fasting is just as much a part of art as a cooking. Love that. A writer may be in a coffee shop working on a scene and unsure what a character is going to say next. A phrase might be overheard in the chatter from another table that provides a direct answer or at least a glimpse of a possible direction. We receive these types of messages all the time if we remain open to them. Have you ever experienced something like that? Where it's like you kind of hear an idea, a concept is coming, and it's like, oh, this is like relating to me. Maybe it's just a coincidence. I don't know. But it happens, right? And if it's a coincidence, you can still use it. We might read a book and find a quote leaping off the page to us, or watch a movie and notice a line that moves us to pause and rewind. Sometimes it's the exact answer we've been looking for, or it could be an echo of an idea that keeps repeating in other places, begging for more attention or affirming the path that we're on. The transmissions are subtle, but they are ever present. But they're easy to miss. If we aren't looking for clues, they'll pass us by without us ever knowing. That's why I often say, slow down. That's why we want to build awareness. There is knowledge and information and wisdom and opportunity present all around us, but we have to stop and look for it, and maybe ask for it, maybe be looking for it. We have to be open to it either way. Being open to something like this, knowledge from outside ourselves, ideas from our environment, have to be open to it. If you are just brute forcing it and say, I have all the answers, I'm gonna power through it, you're never gonna be open enough to say, hey, maybe something, a clue, right? Maybe there's a clue here. That's like an open, humble, thoughtful attitude. So if we aren't looking for clues, they'll pass us by without ever knowing. Notice connections. Consider where they lead. When something out of the ordinary happens, ask yourself why. What is the message? What could be the greater meaning? This process isn't a science. Thank God. It's we're opposite of science. Perhaps we are, or maybe not. But it isn't a science, he says. We can't control clues. We cannot will them to be revealed to us. Sometimes it helps to have a strong intention to find a specific answer or to confirm a particular path. Other times, letting go of that intention altogether can help you find the way. No right or wrong on that process. Kind of got to feel that one out. An integral part of the artist's work, meaning an integral part of our work of health as we're trying to move forward, is deciphering these signals. The more open you are, the more clues you will find, and the less effort you will need to exert. That's what we really want. That's our end state, right? The floating analogy in our little sailboat. Let fasting do the work. Let the wind of health blow us along without struggling. You may be able to think less and begin to rely on answers arising within you. There's another source of clues, right? So, clue that is arising from within, it isn't just our default way of being. Like when we think, okay, I'm just gonna do what I've always done or something. Say, no, I'm gonna look for clues. Maybe these clues start arising, new thoughts, new ideas just arising even from within us. You might imagine that the outside world is a conveyor belt with a stream of small packages on it always going by. And I think he's meaning that these packages are like ideas. The ideas are coming along through the world to us. The first step is to notice that the conveyor belt is there. That's like if we're looking for clues, we're trying to solve this puzzle in our day. It's like whatever's happening here, right? We're in this universe, this world, this place. There's a conveyor belt of ideas that is there to help us if we look for it. Nice way to think of it. Anytime you want, you can pick up one of those packages, unwrap it, and see what's inside. A clue. A clue is going to be in this gift. A helpful exercise might be to open a book to a random page and read the first line that your eyes find, and see how what's written there somehow applies to your situation. Any relevance it bears might be by chance, but you might allow for the possibility that chance is not all that is in play. Now this is kind of an interesting section. The guy says, okay, when my appendix burst, the doctor who diagnosed it insisted I go to the hospital immediately and have it removed. A logical recommendation. I was told there were no other options. I found myself in a nearby bookstore, like with an ruptured appendix. And he's just like, I'll go out to the table, and in the front was a book by Dr. Andrew Weil. I picked it up and I let it fall open, and the first passage my eyes went to said, if a doctor wants to remove part of your body and they tell you it has no function, don't believe this. The information I needed was made available to me in that moment, and I still have my appendix. And I would add, and he didn't die, so it's great. Now, the thing that's interesting is actually surgical practice is actually moving to do many less appendectomies. But I'm personally trying to envision what on earth this guy's experience was like with a ruptured appendix. I just go in and just see what a random book says. It's hard for me to really picture that. But like, it worked out. Oh man. I'd start on a smaller level, right? If you're looking for clues, let's keep it to like, let's solve our health stepping problem in a day. Probably good enough. If you're like, appendix is bursting, you might listen to the doctor and go to the hospital. When clues present themselves, it can sometimes feel like a delicate mechanism of a clock at work, as if the universe is nudging you with little reminders that it's on your side, that it wants to provide everything you need to complete your mission. Do you believe that? I believe it. I do. And even if you don't believe it, I would say, like, what if we just lived as if it was true anyway? Like, is it a nicer way of being to believe that the universe is on your side and that it's there to help you, and it's sending you little packages along a conveyor belt, little ideas, little clues that are going to help you along your way? I mean, if nothing else, it's fun. It is a fun thought. It's a beautiful and encouraging thought. And if I had to say in a non-scientific, non-rational, mind, I would say I think it's true. Like, I think we're in an experience where there is goodness and love and positivity that is on our side and is working for us and wants the best and wants our thriving. And I think that in some mysterious way, yes, clues can come if we're open to them. Subtle pieces of information that resonate, on some sort of frequency where it's like, you know what? Like, I see that. Like, that is gonna help me. Or like, that's an idea I haven't tried. Maybe it's coming from everywhere else. Maybe like some random person on the internet said, hey, maybe if I move my furniture around, And that was enough of a thing, and you did it, and it gave you a fresh start, and it helped you move in a new direction. Furniture therapy, whatever it takes. Clues to the puzzle. So you're going through the day, you've got the playbook, right? The basic ground rules of the game. You've got all the knowledge of every game you ever played, right? All the days, right? All the steps that you've taken. And so we know a bit about how the game works. And then in each day then is unique. Each game, even if it's the same game, it's a new day. Same game, new day, subtly different. And we're going to approach it. Going to try to use every tool we're building in this process. Talk ourselves some strength in the mirror. Giving ourselves a pep talk, priming the brain for the obstacles, how we're going to approach them. Avoiding struggle. Oops. avoiding struggle, trying as much as possible to get into that state of flow, balancing out with some awareness, always running that we could flow in a direction we don't want. And when we're doing that, we use our limited, precious mental capital to gently course correct, get ourselves heading in the direction that we want. I loved this week. I am going to leave it at that today because I'm going to pick up a friend who is coming into town on the bus in only a matter of minutes. So I'm going to run off from here and connect with a friend. I hope that you are able to have a beautiful rest of this day. Step forward in health. Have a beautiful weekend. And I will look forward to connecting with you next week. We're in the 60s next week, so we're going to be counting through the 60s together, stepping toward the holidays and the new year in health every day. And I will look forward to that. Thank you all for being here. Have a beautiful weekend, and we catch you next week.